Private Shizuya Hayashi is the one-man army. Shizuya Caesar Hayashi was born on the Hawaiian island of Oahu in November 1917. Here, he grew up and began work in the plantation fields. Hayashi was a second-generation Japanese immigrant, which at the time were called Nisei. While he toiled on the island, a shadow was growing in Europe. The Nazi Party in Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, had begun ramping up aggression and tensions on the continent. Hitler rallied his nation and had ramped up for conflict. What began as whispers became the deafening roar of battle. War had come to Europe. Back at home in America, Hayashi signed up for 1 year of military service, where he began his training and would learn how to fight. But one day, everything changed. On December 7th, 1941, at approximately 7:48 a.m., 6 Japanese aircraft carriers launched 353 planes in a surprise attack on the United States Naval Base at Pearl Harbor. This attack took the Americans stationed there by complete surprise. Thousands of Americans lost their lives, and over 1,000 more were wounded. Initially, there was massive backlash against Japanese Americans, which led to internment camps and extreme prejudice. At first, Nisei soldiers weren't even allowed to carry guns and were looked down upon as being possible spies for the Japanese Empire. For America, this meant war. Hayashi was shipped to the 100th Battalion, primarily comprised of Nisei soldiers. While the military didn't have big hopes, they were quickly proven wrong. The 100th was praised for their dedication and skill in the training environment. Their motto, "Go for broke," became a driving force which would lead them to becoming the most decorated battalion in American military history. It was time. The 100th Battalion were deployed to Italy as part of the bloody Operation Husky. Would Italy greet them with open arms? Or would every rolling hill be a threat? Hayashi and the 100th arrived on European shores amidst bloody fighting in the Italian campaign. Operation Husky was regarded by some as a campaign as bloody and as brutal as the Somme. Hayashi was an automatic rifleman and vividly remembers his first battles. The smells, the sights, horrific all. Hayashi and his company were tasked with complex flank assaults on enemy high ground areas protected by artillery, anti-aircraft guns, and dug-in soldiers. On November 29th, 1943, Hayashi would become the one-man army. Hayashi charged the enemy line alone, firing his assault rifle from his hip while staring down grenades, rifles, and machine gun fire from the enemy. He could hear bullets whizzing by, feel the heat of a bullet as it grazed down his neck, and heard the screams of the enemy. He pressed on, single-handedly neutralizing 7 enemy combatants and 2 more that were trying to reach another fortification. He had forced the remainder to flee. But Hayashi wasn't done yet. Hayashi's platoon advanced to catch up, and then were met with further heavy fire from an anti-aircraft gun facing towards them. Despite the thunderous noise and heavy fire, Hayashi returned, killing 9 more enemy combatants where they were fortified. Terrified, 4 enemies immediately surrendered to Hayashi and were captured. Again, his platoon advanced, and they took the position. Hayashi was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his acts of bravery and heroism, but the war continued. The 100th Battalion would continue through the Italian campaign and work their way towards France. Supporters of the Italian campaign rejoiced as the 100th Battalion and Allied forces made victory after victory. Hayashi, however, would not see the war through to its conclusion as he fell victim to trench foot and was sent home. Hayashi returned home, got healthy, and returned back to his home island where he worked with heavy equipment. He continued his commitment to service by helping to maintain the veterans' graveyards and tended to the graves of the fallen. On June 22nd, 2000, Hayashi and 21 other Nisei veterans were awarded the highest military award for valor, the Medal of Honor. Not only did he accept the medal for himself, but represented his countrymen that served, many of whom did not return home from war. Hayashi died in March 2008 in Honolulu and lies in the National Cemetery of the Pacific on his home island of Oahu. America could have asked for no finer man and role model to represent them, and he will be immortalized for his service and receipt of the highest military honor.